हाई पावर सेक्शन कमिंग, बंद कर, बंद कर, हाई, खोल, खोल, सी, this is my high power section coming, see now, yes, takes away so fast. Now, see here in some fungus lodged, see this, yes, out, मतलब दूसरा नहीं, एक और लिया, see this, the postethmoidal roof being cleared off, see now, very clear, this for the ONOD situation, see the optic now, had I not known this limit, had I gone straight from the doing postethmoidectomy, I can easily, anybody can easily hit the optic now. See that? This is the optic now which is dehiscent. Can you see everybody? This optic now is dehiscent and this is ONOD cell. This is the postethmoidal cell which has gone beyond the sphenoid. This is sphenoid planet, it has gone beyond the sphenoid debris. This is an amazing example of this safer medial approach. Identify the sphenoid. Now I have done my postethmoidectomy. When? After identifying the sphenoid ostium. Never do before. You never know which case has ONOD situation. Now the last thing left is the sphenoid. Now see, this is postethmoid. See, this is postethmoid cavity. This is sphenoid. I am removing the party wall. See this party wall. See this party wall. Thinned out because of the disease, because of the expansile nature, compression. See, I am removing the party wall and widening the sphenoid sinus now, which is jam-packed with the fungus. What is it? See sphenoid, how full it is. Now my optic nerve is in my view. Keep widening, widening the sphenoid sinus to the maximum so that we can remove the fungus from there. Just a minute, just a minute. Now the same strategy. Ball probe. Engage the fungus with a ball probe and dislodge. See this? See with the ball probe. It's a gentle traction movement to dislodge. See what a tool.
Already the roof is eroded.
Pardon?
The sphenoid roof is eroded.
Yes, sphenoid is eroded from many places. Also, wash section. See now again. Section, yes. Now again, we remove the chunk of it. See, the goal is to dislodge. Ball probe being a safe instrument and direction is toward the midline. Again, a big chunk come out. Same exercise everywhere. The wall probe is a fantastic tool. Engage, dislodge, and very, very blunt instrument. See this again, a big chunk. Again, massive fungus in the sphenoid, and ball probe is the man of the match. Another big chunk. Another big one. To be the high power section now. High power. I'm using the high power now. Yes. See this? See the beauty of high power.
Yeah.
So worked out completely. So traction is amazing, tool. So another chunk.
Are you working on the other side? On the left side?
Not really. We'll show you the intersinus septum, how it is pushed. See how much sphenoid is expanded and fungus coming. Another big one. This is high power. Power होगा बंद करो. Beauty of high power. बंद करो. See how nicely the high power section picks up. Flush for any debris, any remnants. See, big chunk in the clival recess left. Looks like it is out. We'll reassess.
Yes. Like this.
Give me wash. We'll see with the 70-degree again everything. Then we'll use our hydro debrider for any debris left behind. Looks clear.
What about middle terminate cross sections?
छोड़ना छोड़ना तो पता ही नहीं लगा. Pardon?
Middle terminate.
Yeah. I will reset partly in the end.
Why not
Until
earlier?
earlier we were using it as a landmark.
Still, we are removing only the inferior parts.
Yeah. I will remove now. Just see the aim of removal of this part we do in the end, and it will not be a complete chop. The upper part can be preserved as a landmark for future. Only lower part. See now my access to this olfactory region for topicals to reach has improved. That's the aim. That's the whole aim of doing that. And see this now, it is very stable. It is not going to fall back and close the ethmoidal cavity. This is partial resection. Now I'll use the 70-degree in all sinuses, one by one. Last two maneuvers, and then this case is over. Next is ready. Next is JNA. See, first of all, the maxillary. This is with 70-degree. You know?
Which debris the Android figure itself.
Yeah, I can see section. Some fungal material still in the anterior recess. See with 70-degree. Could you see this?
Yes, yes, can see that.
That is a difficult zone to see with a 0-degree. Wash karaye.
Now, are you using the forehand technique or only you are out? Is that
Pardon? Not using foreign technique. There is a unilateral. Yes, wash. See this? It will come out like this. Flush. Okay. Look, look. Give me a piece of Merocel. I'll mop out. Chota. Other gun. I'll mop out with the Merocel and complete maxillary sinus anteriorly. There is a little bit of the fungus which is in the anterior part of the floor section.
between inferior mat laparoscopy to clear that?
Not really. See, just mopping.
Okay.
Can you see something?
Yeah, yes, you can see.
That's, see how it brings out. Some more. We'll do more. More mopping. Once more. Hard mopping. Mopping really hard. I'm very hard mopping. Remove anything left behind. Flush. Now we'll flush it. Super. See now, we'll flush under vision. Do that, section, do that. Yes. Popular. More. Again, we'll flush under vision. See this? Absolutely clear.
Yes, you can see.
And again, there could be, yes. No. See this now, inside?
Yes, you can see that. Clear.
See, not even a trace of it. Could be a little bit more.
Is there something that some debris?
Yeah. We'll flush it more. What is this? One piece, I have a doubt. Yes, wash. Yes. Mop. 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 Yes.
There is a question from the audience. Is there a role for 128 scope?
See, again, this hard mopping in this region. See now, even the mucosa are being abraded. Hard mopping. Nothing is left behind. After that, we'll run our hydrodebrider also. Anyway, now we have seen maxillary. Now go on and see the sphenoid as well.
There is a question from the audience. They are asking whether 120-degree scope would be of use here.
With that,
120-degree scope would be of use to see the nook and corners of the magnitude.
this is 70 degree.
No, people are asking whether 120-degree would be.
Can be. See now? Yes. See the interior of the sphenoid with a 70 degree.
Yes, we can see.
Again. And this is your clival recess. This is the intersinus septum, opposite side. See the septum. See the intersinus septum. This is clival recess. This is sella above this one. And the complete interior of the sphenoid. See that?
Yeah, very clear.
And now finally towards the frontal. See the frontal, we have already, seen a lot. This bone I will remove a little bit of the bone above the artery. Now hydrodebrider boss. Even if slightest the fungus left behind, will come with a hydrodebrider. See this. What is this? I told you this is a water jet. See, I am going in the frontal. This is 360-degree rotatable. I pushed into this, and now this is a jet. High pressure jet, 360-degree. You can rotate.
The hydrodebrider, 360-degree jet of water, high pressure water.
See the pressure. See, look at the pressure. Look at the pressure of the jet.
Pressure of the jet. You can see water, very high pressure.
Yes. So what I will do, rotate inside the frontal sinus everywhere. It cannot leave any fungus behind.
This vector fungus will be washed out with this.
Yes. So that is about the frontal sinus. See that?
Yes, very clear.
Now about the maxillary sinus. Give me.
What make is it? Is it of Medtronics, this hydrodebrider?
Yes, yes. Yes. Look. See this blade going straight. Now I am rotating. Rotating. See this? Rotating more. Rotating more. This is 360-degree rotatable. See where in the anterior part where I am flushing.
Yes,
Can you see?
Yes, we can see that.
It cannot leave behind anything. Similarly, for a sphenoid. See right in the right in the depth of the sphenoid sinus. See this?
Yes.
पानी डालना दूसरे हाथ से कर क्या रहा है?
With so much erosion the sphenoid sinus. Would it be a problem to use the side pressure get inside?
No, 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 not really, not really. See the clean water coming?
Yes.
No fungus. So we mopped first with a 70 degree, checked all sinuses, and finally used the this hydrodebrider. I can confidently say that no fungus is left behind. Agreed?
Yes.
0 degree, zero.
To be
So
sure that
before,
to be sure that there is no evaporated years of leak, is it?
no, no, no. This cannot perforate the dura. This is jet.
No, the other way around. If you're not sure about, suppose you have created a series of leak, and then do this.
Wait, wait. See the final picture now with the 0 degree. All sinuses, good. Apla there. That's the panoramic view. That's the panoramic view. All clear, everybody?
Very clear.
See the maxillary sphenoid and above is going to be the frontal. This is my axilla. That was the beak above. This is the remnant of the middle turbinate, the nasal septum. And this was the lamina, which is pushed laterally. Everything, everywhere the mucosa is intact. Now the only course in the post-op period would be irrigation, irrigation, and irrigation with a steroid. That's it. That clears off everything.
How long do you continue the irrigation?
Hello? Change. 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 अरे हटाओ वो ना यार इधर क्या आ रहा है कैमरा ये लगा हेलो
Hello, sir. What about the next case? And if you have infected,
JNA मेरा फोन ला देना फोन the next case is going to be JNA लाओ ना यार ये
okay, so how soon or how treatment?
हेलो
Delegates just want to go and come from the beginning itself. So you're going to start it immediately.
हेलो
Hello, can you hear us, sir? Can you hear us, sir?
हेलो
Hello, can you hear us?
ये वॉल्यूम बढ़ाओ ना Yeah, JNA is next.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear us, sir? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, when are we going to start the next case? Everybody is eagerly waiting for the next case. Just wanted to know. Hello?
Yes. Next case is JNA.
Oh, okay, sir. How
I
soon
can
will
see
start? Sir?
Dr. Shaheen on screen. Hi, boss.
Oh, it's already on the screen.
Yes, I could see him.
Okay. No, actually what we are seeing is a CT scan coronal section.
Dr. Shaheen, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear us, sir.
Hi. He's a terrific all-rounder of our cricket team. Dr. Shaheen plays with us in our team.
Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, sir. Fantastic.
So how's your batting, bowling going on?
I'm waiting for you for that so that we can play together in the coming time.
Always welcome.
Okay. I'll hand over the mic to Mr. Doctor Shibu. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Pleasure watching you.
Now we welcome Dr. Idikula sir, Senior Consultant, ENT Lakeshore, Kochi, to give mementos and certificates to both of our chairpersons.
क्या was it? Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir. We are here.
Moving on to the second case, we would like to invite Dr. Ramakrishnan, Senior Consultant ENT, Aster MIMS Hospital, Kannur, and Dr. Susan, Professor of ENT, Government Medical College, Trivandrum. Dr. Vinod Felix, Senior Consultant ENT and Skull Base Surgeon, KIMS and SUT Hospitals, Trivandrum.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Sir, are you ready with the imagings for the next case, sir?
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, you are audible, but are we audible?
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So do we go ahead?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. Sir, Dr. Ramakrishnan here from Kollam, and Dr. Vinod Felix and Dr. Susan Madam will be chairing the session. Sir,
Hello. I can see Dr. Vinod Felix on screen.
yes, sir. Sir, good
How are
afternoon,
you?
sir. Fine, sir. I'm fine, sir. Thank you. Are you tired, or are you going to start the next case immediately, sir? Do you need a break, or is it okay with you?
So nice to see you here, active, interacting, and your feedback, your inputs will be definitely helpful for everybody, including me.
Thank you, sir. You are our guru, sir. You're the big boss. Are we audible?
Yeah. Just a minute. So, are you getting a scan on the screen?
Yes, sir. We're getting the scans.
So, this is a 12-year-old child. See, I'll quickly take you through the imaging part. The case is getting ready. Ready? No, ma'am. So, this is the first investigation we order when we suspect JNA. Young male with nasal obstruction, history of bleeding. You immediately suspect JNA as a first diagnosis with a nasal mass on endoscopy behind. Once you suspect JNA, we are not supposed to take biopsy, and we have to, reinforce our diagnosis by means of imaging. And the imaging of choice here, first imaging is a CT angiogram.
Yes, sir.
Can you see this CT angiogram?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let me tell you some classical findings on CT angiogram and some abnormal findings also in this case. See, on CT angiogram, this is a lesion, this is the level of the pterygoid process on this side.
Yes,
This
sir.
lesion is arising here and prolapsing down in the nasal cavity and nasopharynx on this side, and on other side going in the infratemporal fossa. Can you see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
It is at the same time eroding the pterygoid base. Look at the pterygoid, normal pterygoid opposite side, and this pterygoid is eroded, and from there it is prolapsing in the sphenoid sinus.
Yes, sir.
Can you see? It never
Yes, sir.
enters the sphenoid through the natural ostium. It enters by either eroding the floor or eroding the pterygoid base.
Yes, sir.
See, that is how it is entering into the, projecting into the sphenoid sinus, and doesn't take any attachment inside the sphenoid. Here, this is the inferior orbital fissure where the tumor is not going. Tumor is prolapsing in the infratemporal fossa.
Okay, sir.
That's the infratemporal fossa. This is the entire pterygoid which is destroyed by the tumor. Look at the bone of the pterygoid on this side and normal bone of the pterygoid on this side. Can you see?
Yes, sir. Invading
With
the
lots of, lots of these flow voids. You can imagine the vascularity inside.
Yes, sir.
Lots of flow voids. That is classical of JNA being a vascular tumor. Okay. Now, this erodes the pterygoid base, but it doesn't enter the pterygoid fossa down. See, pterygoid fossa down is absolutely clear.
Yes, sir.
It is the pterygoid base which is eroded. That is something to be noticed for this particular situation in this case. Now, the abnormal finding what I found in this case was, see, this is in the axial section. Look at this. This is the pterygopalatine fossa, normal pterygopalatine fossa on the opposite side.
Yes,
See
sir.
this is the posterior wall of maxilla. This is the pterygoid process. This is pterygopalatine fossa. And look at the pterygopalatine fossa on this side. Can you see?
Yes, sir. Completely widened.
This is the maxillary sinus wall which is pushed anteriorly. Hallman-Miller sign.
Yes,
And this has widened the pterygopalatine fossa. And this tumor is going laterally. Laterally, it is going anterolaterally and little bit posterolaterally in both sides. Can you see again?
yes, sir. Into the infratemporal.
And see the pterygoid base is hollowed out with a tumor inside. This is the commonest cause for a so-called recurrence. It is never a recurrence. It is always a residual tumor which is regrowing again. And the commonest site is the hidden area which is in the pterygoid base. It has a tendency to invade the Haversian system of this cancellous bone of pterygoid and sphenoid, clivus. And wherever it goes, you have to pull it out intact so that you don't leave any possibility of tumor leaving behind. And for the safer side, destroy the pterygoid completely and that region, drill away so that you don't leave any, flush everything, don't leave any possibility of a residual tumor which can regrow.
Yes.
Now, this is the component going in the nasopharynx. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Lower down. Nasopharynx. This is medial pterygoid plate. This is lateral pterygoid plate. This is lateral extension, which has a little bit posterolateral component and then more anterolateral component. All clear? Now, this has a peculiar, unusual anterior extension. See this, which is rarely seen.
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
And this makes the endoscopic surgeon's life difficult. The reason being, see the endonasal space on this side and this side.
Yes, sir.
This tumor is projecting inside the endonasal space like this and narrowed the space. Now, to approach this tumor which is coming far laterally, what would be our approach? We would be doing modified Dankers. I would be removing this medial wall of the maxilla as well as part of the lateral wall of the maxilla like this. And then we'll have a thorough like this. Thorough like this. Head-on access to the posterior wall of the maxilla and behind. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
See my thorough access? This will be the thorough access. These are the two which, see, this, after the access we'll have this thorough access. With 0 degree, we can see the entire maxillary sinus head-on. We'll remove this posterior wall and look at the tumor behind. Whatever tumor is lateral to it, we'll pull it. This is progressing by the, it doesn't take attachment at the progressing head. So it prolapses in the free area. Infratemporal fossa is a relatively area with less resistance, and it prolapses in the infratemporal fossa. And similarly, we can pull it out inside. So this modified dankers will give us a head-on access. The only thing which is limiting our access, which we have to manage intraoperatively, which is complicating the life, is this. In this access, this is coming in between. This anterior extension of the tumor, which will reduce somehow, so that we can maintain our visualization. Now, this tumor is principally supplied by the internal maxillary. And where is the internal maxillary located? Behind the posterior wall of the maxilla, it comes in the pterygopalatine fossa. So I will show you this CT angiogram, how the internal maxillary, the vascularity, this tumor is defined. You have to see yourself, assess yourself, rather than relying on radiologists. They can't furnish that much of the detailed information. So now, what I am going to do, we'll show you the CT angiogram to track the vessel supplying this tumor, number one. Number two, see this tumor behind. Bigger the tumor behind. Where the vessel is, see, coming from anterior, this is the posterior wall of maxilla. Behind that is the periosteum. And behind the periosteum, in the most anterior compartment of the pterygopalatine fossa, are the vessels. So more the tumor behind, more it pushes the vessel anteriorly. That is favorable when you come from anteriorly. Now, let me show you how to read the CT angiogram. This is something you have to read yourself to make complete understanding of the vessel supplying this tumor. Let me show you now. See this. I am in the neck. See, this is common carotid.
Yes, sir.
Can you see the common carotid?
Yes, sir. Clearly.
This is the jugular, this is carotid. That's the jugular, this is carotid. Now I am coming up in the neck. See in the neck. This is your vertebral artery behind, this is carotid artery. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Clearly. Clearly.
Yeah, now coming up, this is dividing into external and internal. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Changing the window setting. Yeah. See this is external, this is internal. Can you see very clear?
Clearly seen.
Now see from external, the movement, see the external is arising here. External is arising here, and the first branch coming from the external, can you see this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is either superior thyroid or ascending pharyngeal. How to track this? Forget about the carotid, now focus on this branch. See, focus on this branch. Branch is going down. See, the branch is going down. Branch is going down. This is thyroid. Can you see this thyroid?
Oh, yes.
So this is superior thyroid artery. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
Ascending pharyngeal would go up. Now, going up. See this. This medial branch looks ascending pharyngeal. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
This is ascending pharyngeal. This is looking like facial artery that is going towards the mandible. Can you see this facial artery?
Yes, sir.
Can you see? This is lingual artery. This is lingual artery. You can follow each and every vessel, and then now I am following the external carotid. Can you see I am following the external carotid here.
Yes, sir.
See my cursor. Keep an eye on my cursor. See now at this point of time, external carotid is giving few branches. See, as it moves towards the mandible, see the branch number one, this, branch number two behind. Can you see these two branches?
Yes, sir.
Anybody? What are these branches? Anybody? Moving toward the mandible, it gives off occipital behind and the posterior
auricular.
auricular. See this? These are the two branches. Now follow this vessel behind the mandibles. Can you see here?
Yes, sir.
Here it divides into two terminal branches. See this? I am following the lateral one. Let me follow first the lateral one. We'll come back. See, this lateral one is what? Superficial temporal one. I am tracking this all the way. This is superficial temporal. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. Clearly see.
Going behind, coming back, coming back. Everybody, Dr. Felix, can you see what I am showing?
Yes, sir. I am following.
Now see the terminal branch second going inside. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
This is what?
Internal maxillary.
Internal maxillary. This is our key vessel. Now I am following the internal maxillary here. Follow my cursor. Follow my cursor, the internal maxillary. See this internal maxillary?
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
Follow my cursor. Follow my cursor. See this internal maxillary? I'm going into the tumor. Can you see?
Yes, sir. Curving.
See how it is looping in the tumor. Can you see very clear?
Clearly
Now follow my cursor. Where the branch is? Just behind the posterior wall of the maxilla. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. Clearly see.
This is the posterior wall of the maxilla and this is the vessel. How useful the CT angiogram is. Unimaginable. And you have to track yourself. Radiologists cannot give this dynamic information. What radiologist at the maximum can say that this vessel, this tumor is being supplied by internal maxillary. That we all know. That information is as good as useless for us as an additional information. So now this is internal maxillary. Can you see very clear, Dr. Felix?
Yes, sir.
And see how it is entering into the tumor. See, just hugging the posterior wall. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
The moment you remove the posterior wall, just behind the periosteum is going to be this vessel and entering into the tumor here. That's how this vessel is the principal vessel supplying this. See that?
Yes, sir.
Now, how is where do we find this vessel inside? Let me show you. Sometimes you look for the vessel and you are lost. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
With this CT angiogram, you can exactly define the three-dimensional course of this vessel where it has to be caught. See this. We saw this vessel just behind here. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
In the axial plane. Now I'll take my cursor over here in the axial plane. See this?
Yes, sir.
Now this will be in the coronal plane as well. The same. Let me pick up the coronal. Highlight the coronal now. We'll see the coronal. Enlarges. See, my cursor is right on the vessel. Can you see there?
Yes, sir.
This is the vessel. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Now see the vessel. See how the vessel is looping inside. Tortuous course. See how the vessel is looping inside. See on the opposite side how the vessel is coming. Look at my cursor. See here?
Yes, sir.
How the vessel is coming in the tumor. How the vessel is coming in the tumor. Amazing information here.
Somebody teaching like this.
See how the vessel. Now what we get the idea out of it.
Sir. It's a very excellent information. We never seen somebody teaching like this. First time we are seeing somebody briefing the CT and just so very well. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, dear. See now the complexity. This big is the tumor mass which is coming anteriorly. I told you this is complicating our life. This is going to complicate our life definitely. With this big mass coming anteriorly, this will prevent our posterior visualization into pterygobaltine fossa. See this, how this is like a pot coming anteriorly. Secondly, this will reduce our space to maneuver our instruments as well. So we'll do something with the cobbleator to, shrink this entire mass and going behind. Now see this mass is here and this vessel is coming behind here. See at this level, what we can see I can catch my vessel over here. What level? See, this is the level of the palate. That's the level of the palate. That's the level of the palate here. That's the level of the palate here. And this vessel is going to be, see this, that's the level of the palate. This vessel is going to be now, to a rough idea, around 2.2 centimeter above the level of the palate. Now I'll have a fairly good idea while looking for this vessel far laterally here. That's the midline. That's the midline here. This will be, say, this is here. Here, see, roughly 2.5 centimeter from the midline and 2.2 centimeter above there. So I'll have a fairly good idea where to catch my vessel. Rather than poking here and there, I'll have in my head this idea where the vessel is going to be. And with experience, you can pick up very well, easily. Still, the tumor distorts the vessel from its natural place. So you have to be very, very careful in identifying the vessel, because the moment I identify, I will clip this and devascularize the tumor to major extent, and so that I can remove it endoscopically. See how valuable the CT angiogram is. That's the point I wanted to make out. Next
Sir,
is,
what will you do if you're not able to isolate the vessel?
pardon?
In a scenario,
Can
what will
you
do if you're not
can you
able to
speak a
isolate
bit
the vessel?
louder? Can you speak a bit louder,
Sir.
please?
Sir, what will you do if you're not able to isolate the vessel
Not able
during your
to
surgery?
identify the vessel.
Yeah. During the
What
surgery.
I will do, I'll mobilize the tumor and come on the lateral surface of the tumor and go deeper. This vessel comes from behind. Ultimately, you will get that there. Ultimately, you will get there staying on the tumor where the vessel enters the tumor from behind. So you have to mobilize the tumor a lot in those situations. That makes your life difficult sometimes. Now, coming to the MRI, certain important features on MRI. Quickly, see, this is the tumor which is like a pot coming anteriorly. That's the tumor going behind in the infratemporal fossa. See how the tumor is going down in the infratemporal fossa, right to the level of the palate. We have to pull it out. And looking at the big mass, see, this is tumor occupied in the pterygoid fossa, projecting into the sphenoid. This is the posterolateral projection. Posterolateral projection. This is anterolateral projection. What we'll do at the edge of the, see, the lateral wall of the nose. At the edge of the lateral wall of the nose here, after catching the vessel, we'll divide the tumor here. Planned division. We'll divide and remove the medial part first. We'll acquire space in the nasal cavity and then mobilize the lateral part into it. That's how we are going to remove it. So most of the time, 90% of the time in this tumor surgery will be invested in what? Exposure, modified Danker, superior exposure, medial exposure, catching the vessel, and then finally we'll mobilize the tumor in the end in the last 10% of the duration. Anybody has any question? I am not going in details of the rest of the imaging findings. Just quickly, I can put certain things for the. See this. Another important investigation sequence is the diffusion weighted. See this diffusion, bright diffusion means more and more fluid content. This is the tumor. Had this been, this restriction would have been malignant tumor. Sometimes you get an nasopharyngeal mass in children, and diffusion weighted MRI can clearly, distinguish whether it is a benign or malignant tumor. Malignant tumor has more nuclear cytoplasmic ratio, less water content. This benign tumor has more and more water content and showing no diffusion restriction, bright. It would have been dark had there been a benign malignant tumor. Number 3 is the involvement of the pterygoid bone. I told you that pterygoid involvement is the biggest region for, so-called recurrence. See here, this is pterygoid fossa. This is pterygoid body, and this is the greater wing of sphenoid. In this fat suppressed imaging, let me put fat suppress and non-fat suppress imaging. This is very, very important to prevent recurrences. This is non-fat suppressed T2 weighted. Now I'll bring this is fat suppressed T2 weighted imaging. Let me bring non-fat suppressed first. Yes. This is regular T2 weighted imaging. See this. This is the pterygoid fold contains the marrow fat. This is the greater sphenoid bone contains the marrow fat. Fat enhances on T2 weighted. Any MRI, any sequence, fat enhances. Now, this is what on this side is fat suppressed. Can you see the difference?
Yes, sir.
This is fat suppressed. The fat is suppressed dark, T2, both T2 weighted, and this is the fat, non-fat suppressed. You see the fat. On the opposite side, see this. In this fat suppressed imaging on this side, this is normal suppressed because the fat is suppressed. Now on fat suppressed, if there is something bright in the pterygoid region, that means there is tumor. This bone is infiltrated by the tumor. And this is such a vital information to drill away this bone completely. Otherwise, you are bound to leave the tumor behind, and that is the commonest cause of so-called recurrence. So we have to thoroughly drill away this pterygoid to remove this tumor. And that is best seen on fat suppressed imaging. See the fat suppressed pterygoid on this side and look at the fat suppressed pterygoid with this tumor inside, which is still enhancing. In spite of suppressing the fat, if something is enhancing in this tumor case, it's the tumor only. That's it. So MRI has various sequences, and we can take the advantage of all these sequences to optimize our, information. This is very, very important for everybody. See this T1 weighted imaging on this side. See T1 weighted, the fat is bright everywhere. Look at the pterygoid and the greater wing of sphenoid on this side, and look at the see the greater wing has a marrow fat still, but the pterygoid fat is lost. This pterygoid fat is lost means there is tumor. Dr. Felix, can you are you trying to get what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
these
sir.
these are special MRI sequences which tells you the hidden component of the tumor which is not visible even on CT scan or any other investigation.
Do you also look at the greater wing of sphenoid?
What?
So do you also look at the greater wing of sphenoid, the marrow of the greater wing?
Yeah. This is the greater wing. Partly this is the lateral part of the greater wing. See the greater wing on this side.
Yes, sir.
This marrow fat. See the marrow fat in the greater wing laterally but not medially. See this? So this is all, and the pterygoid completely destroyed by the tumor, or fat, the bright fat is replaced by tumor. As simple as that.
Okay, sir.
So these are the special sequences by means of why MRI is so versatile. If somebody asks me why MRI is done for this region, to get diffusion weighted to rule out malignancy, to get these sequences to rule out cancellous bone invasion, which cannot be picked by a CT scan. So this is such a vital information, and this you have to pick yourself rather than relying on radiologists to give you all this information. So let's get on to the case. The case is almost ready. In couple of minutes, we'll be with you for the case. Okay?
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Yes, please.
Hello. Sir, if on CT angiography, if the vessel is found to be behind the tumor.
Pardon?
If the vessel on CT angiography is found to be behind tumor, main feeding vessel,
I didn't get your question, please. If CT angiography,
if the IMAX is found behind the tumor.
yes, if IMAX is coming from behind the tumor, that is the indication for embolization.
Okay, sir.
That is the indication of embolization. Then, because before tumor handling, you cannot catch the vessel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then you will get into the tumor and it is going to bleed heavily. So if the vessel is coming from the behind, Like if you have a rich vascularity coming from ascending pharyngeal, you have to embolize it. You cannot handle that vessel without mobilizing the tumor.
No, sir. How often have you seen the vessel being posterior, sir?
Rarely. In our practice, we embolize in less than 10%. Now we say less than 5% of the cases we embolize.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Mostly in the revision situations when you develop aberrant vascularity, then it is mostly required. In primary situations, rarely required. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got it.
Okay, so in couple of minutes, we'll be with the endoscopic picture. पैक कर दे पैक कर दे
Sir, do you ever expose the neck and tie the carotid temporarily instead of embolization?
ऑन करो इसको। तेज करो। हेलो।
Yes, sir, we are here. Sir, do you ever expose the neck, sir?
Never.
Do you ever expose?
Why? Why?
No. In case you are not able, the embolization facility is not available.
Hello.
Sir, in case the facility for embolization is not there, do you expose the neck and
So that
put a temporary clamp on the?
see, such a proximal embolization is never going to work. You have to have a distal embolization at a microvascular level. If you catch the external carotid, that is not going to make any difference. That is not a end artery. See the tumor surface. See the tumor surface, and most of the bleeding is on the surface. See this?
Yes, sir.
Nothing. What I will do? Pack again and again. Pack with the. See, I am not using Marocel here. This is not like sinus surgery. Here, the major bleeding is arterial, and you have to do other maneuvers. I'm using these adrenaline soaked ribbon gauges. We are using hypotensive anesthesia as well. Unlike FES, so this is a different pathology. See the peculiar thing about this anterior extension in this tumor. See this.
Yes, sir.
See, this is how it is pushing the lateral wall. See like this?
Yes.
See this lateral wall? The lateral wall of the nose or the medial wall of the maxilla is pushed laterally.
Okay.
By the tumor mass which is coming anteriorly. And this is coming from here. See this tumor which is coming from here. See just behind the middle turbinate from the pterygopalatine fossa. Could you see?
Yes, sir.
Now my man of the match during entire surgery is going to be the cobblator. For the regions we'll discuss again and again. So I told you the biggest source of bleeding is arterial, though there are other sources also venous and all that, and major from the external carotid branches. See what I am doing? Since most of the vascularity is on the surface, do surface coagulation. This serves not only the purpose of reducing the vascularity on the surface, at the same time it shrinks the tumor as well to give you more and more space. Okay?
Yes, sir. I think the audience must actually see that he's just touching the coagulation. He's not actually pressing on it. Just brushing the coagulation mode over the entire tumor.
Hello?
Yes, sir. We are hearing
Dr.
you.
Felix, there is a lot of noise in the theater. Can you speak a bit louder, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now you are audible. See what I am doing? Surface coagulation. Whenever more and more surface of the tumor coming in your visualization, do more and more surface coagulation. See like this?
Yes, sir.
This will not only reduce the vascularity, but more importantly, this will shrink the tumor and give more and more space.
Sir, will the tumor get attached to the inferior and middle turbinate at this region? Have you ever seen like that?
Inferior middle turbinate?
Will the tumor get attached to the middle and inferior turbinates?
Yeah, it is commonly attached to the turbinates, particularly middle turbinate, not the inferior one. And here also see, this is attached to the middle turbinate. We always resect the part of the middle turbinate wherever it attached to. It is commonly attached to the nasal septum, rarely attached to the nasal floor or the sinus mucosa. These are tumor characteristics. Section करना है, section powerful नहीं है. Turbinate section is the coagulator section is poor. Take the powerful section. See, more and more surface coagulation will help reducing the vascularity and allow it to shrink. See this?
Yes,
So,
sir.
with your instrumentation, even if you inadvertently, touch your instrument, it is not going to bleed so profusely. That is the advantage of, surface coagulation. More and more surface coagulation improves your visualization. See this? Before doing the dankers, this surface coagulation is very, very important. Because sometimes your instrument may inadvertently poke into the tumor. Problem. So this is my initial tumor surface coagulation. I hope the picture is good there.
Yes, sir. It's very good. Clear over here.
Okay, so coagulator is a tool which maintains your visualization. Now see, this is axilla. Here is going to be your orbit. So I am removing this mucoperiosteum, say a centimeter below the axilla, defining at the level of the, your floor of the orbit, and coming anteriorly till the pyriform aperture.
Yes, sir.
I'll see the pyriform aperture.
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
See the edge of the bone. You are not supposed to come into it. Otherwise, you can inadvertently damage the ala of the alar cartilage. Now see, I am removing all this mucoperiosteum. All this mucoperiosteum. And see, coagulator, what a tool.
Yes, sir.
See this vessel coming from the bone? These are facial arteries. These are facial artery branches. See this?
Yes, sir.
Never ever try to run our coagulator over it, otherwise that can ruin the coagulator vein. On this bone, what I will use? The suction cautery, insulated suction cautery. See this?
Yes, sir.
Or you can use a diamond, both. can work. See, this was the insulated suction cautery, monopolar. Could you see?
Yes, sir.
So never run your couplet. Now see, this is inferior turbinate. Can you see? This
Yes,
is
sir.
a separate bone. This is a separate bone. That's not a part of maxilla. And see my level below to the level of the floor of the nose. This is the inferior turbinate being elevated.
Yes, sir.
That's the inferior turbinate, part of it anteriorly. See this? It has a major vessel coming from behind as a branch of sphenopalatine. See the visualization, how it is maintained.
Yes, sir.
Cobblator everywhere. See the medial wall completely exposed. Now I will come to the anterolateral wall. See how the cobblator expedites your procedure. See the subperiosteal. This is the anterolateral wall. What is this? Anybody?
Anterior superior alveolar.
Yes. Anterior superior alveolar neurovascular bundle. See this?
Yes, sir.
This leads to anesthesia, paresthesia over upper incisor and canines, but it resolves with a period of time as it has numerous interconnection that regenerates the sensation again.
Yes, sir.
You can go laterally wherever you want to. The standard has been, to the level of the infraorbital neurovascular bundle. But nowadays, after the Paul Casanova introduced the technique of transposition of the infraorbital nerve, we can go even beyond. No limits. We can remove 360 degree. See another branch of the infraorbital, entry inferior alveolar.
Yes, sir.
Cobblator. See this? What a tool. See this? Now I will punch out this thin bone anteriorly. This bone, once we remove, will take you inside the maxillary sinus head on. Okay? Thin bone can be punched with a lux. See what is there behind this is nasolacrimal duct.
Yes, sir.
Now, where to enter into the maxillary sinus and how much of the, this wall can be removed. What is the limit above? Is the orbital floor. So, we have to define the orbital floor so that we don't accidentally enter into it. Find all my book. Wait. See some periosteal ooze. Never mind. Now see what I'll do. I will enter into the maxillary sinus and show you what is the level of the roof. Okay. This is my Medtronic high-speed drill. See, this is 15-degree cold diamond bar. Entering head on into the maxillary sinus. See this? We'll show you the level of the roof. Till then, we have to remove the bone. I could have done this with the chisel and hammer as well. Action इधर करना. That's the window. Section. See, this is the lateral wall which is pushed laterally. Could you see?
Yes, sir.
In this case, we have seen the lateral wall is too laterally pushed by the tumor. So, वीरू वहीं खड़ा हो जा. See, this is inside the maxillary sinus. Can you see here?
Yes, sir.
And this is the, see, this is the lateral bulge of the medial wall of maxilla. Can you see this entire?
Yes, sir.
This
The
is
medial
pushed
wall
laterally. If
is
you remember
pushed
the
laterally.
CT scan,
Yes,
if
sir.
you remember how this anterior component has pushed the lateral wall. Okay? What you have to define the interior of the maxillary sinus and the level of the roof. See very clear? Now I will define the cavity better by going a little bit more laterally. Let me decongest from inside. By pushing the ribbon gauze, this will mobilize the wall as well as decongest. See that? This is all lateral wall which is, pushed from here. इधर रख इसको इधर में section drill and suction. Suction drill. See, this is maxillary sinus lumen. See the
Yes, sir.
secretions. See the secretions. This lumen is pushed laterally by the tumor. Okay?
Yes, sir.
See, once I remove the gauze, you will be able to see better. See the maxillary sinus from inside?
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
See this bulge of this wall. I told you this will complicate our life. I told you if you remember.
Yes, sir.
Drill. A little more inferiorly to flush with the floor. Thinning out this bridge of bone so that I can punch it out with a lux later. Hmm. See, more and more bone I'll remove more and more. अभी उसमें ऊपर ला. Yes. This is to see the level of the roof. अब लेटा. See much better inside.
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
जब रहेगा हिलाना उसको. ये हाथ लॉक हो गया तेरा हाथ. नहीं उसको पश्चात चलना चाहिए. Now see. See the level of the roof. That is most important.
So one doubt here. So do you have any problem with vestibular stenosis when you do this approach in extended endoscopic
Not
digraph?
really. Why? We are not creating any raw area, circumferential raw area. There is no question of vestibular stenosis. See this? See this? This is the posterior wall behind. Can you see? And tumor. See this tumor bulge. I told you this will make our life difficult. Can you imagine?
Yes, sir.
This bulge. This is because of the anterior tumor which was bulging into it. Now, see this. This bone I can remove now until nasolacrimal duct. Behind. That is NLD.
Yes, sir.
Very clear?
Clearly seen, sir. Nasolacrimal duct.
Section. That is nasolacrimal duct. That is the upper part of the duct, you see. Now see, this is the level of the floor of the orbit. Can you see?
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
At till this level, I'll remove this bone. I'll cut the duct at that level, flush to the orbital floor.
Vital floor.
Is circumferentially removing the bone. Circumferentially. See, duct standing out prominent. Important thing is to define the level so that it doesn't overhang. Overhanging duct can get fibrous and then epiphora is the likely thing. See this duct at the level of the orbital floor. Can you see the orbital floor laterally?
Yes, sir. Orbital floor seen clearly.
See clearly. Hold. At this level, see, this is the level of the orbital floor. I will cut it flush. That's it. See above where my duct is. Let me press in the lacrimal region. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
See this above? So this will no longer interfere with our further work. I hope you got my point.
Yes, sir.
Cut flush. See now, the area is very clear. No duct is going to come in between. This is the lateral wall. That's the lateral wall, which is pushed. See this? That's the lateral wall. See how the tumor has pushed the lateral wall. See, this is the pushed lateral wall I'm dealing with.
Yes, sir.
Thinned out. That's the uncinate process behind. See, I'm removing the lateral wall and flush till the posterior wall. Superiorly, my limit is very clear. Orbital floor. This is all lateral wall being removed. This tumor has made difficulty by means of push coming anteriorly and pushing the lateral wall laterally. See this much. The axis is narrowed. See, my direction of the blade is away from the tumor. See that?
Yes, sir.
Much better exposure of the posterior wall now.
Yes, sir.
This tumor is like a pot in the anterior nasal cavity. Such a big tumor, usual component coming anteriorly, generally doesn't come. I told you in the beginning that this will definitely make our life difficult and we have to do something to it. All the time we have to keep pushing it medially to expose the posterior wall. See, I am flushing the medial wall till posterior wall. See there?
Yes, sir.
This is the posterior wall of the maxilla. This is the medial wall removed till behind. See this?
Yes, sir. Posterior wall looks thinned out.
See now the entire maxilla is exposed. See the mucosa of the posterior wall I can remove. See the belt of the tumor from behind?
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
Later. Oh. This now I'll do something more to this tumor to shrink this. As more and more this tumor surface exposed, more and more coagulation to shrink this. See this?
Yes, sir.
What an amazing tool it is, coagulation. It contains suction, irrigation, coagulation, cutting, everything in one wand. That's why we call it magic wand. See now the medial wall bulge is much reduced. Can you appreciate this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Earlier it was not allowed even to visualize the posterior wall. Remember,
Now the posterior wall is clearly seen.
so I told you we'll do something. Report when मंगवा के रखना. It is complete. Wash. Give me a little drill. See now the exposure. Much better.
Yes, sir. Much better.
My 90% of the time will be invested in exposure, exposure, and exposure. Needless to say. This projection I am flushing with the floor, so it doesn't, stop my instrument. Otherwise, that limits your instrumentation, debrider. Later. Monopolar. Third. See some oozing from the bone. Can you see?
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
Don't ruin your cobblator. You can use monopolar. Look. All right. Yes. Wash. The more and more monopolar is wash. Back. Silent. See this, our axis. This, what we have done so far is anterior and anterolateral axis. Okay?
Yes, sir.
For this छोटा. Yes. Now is the time to go to the posterior wall. So that's the posterior wall behind. More than छोटा goes there. First, they're pushing it medially, this tumor. See this? Another word to push this tumor medially. Can you see?
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
See now the posterior wall is exposed. I push with a gauge. See, now the entire posterior wall is in front of you. It was otherwise so difficult.
So
See,
the
this is the
posterior wall
posterior wall.
looks thinned out.
This bone is thinned out because of the tumor mass pressure coming from behind. Can you see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm cracking this bone, halka. Yeah. कुछ सही नहीं है यार.
Okay.
See, I could have drilled it as well. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Since the
So
bone is thinned out,
so why didn't you use the drill, sir?
I can crack easily. See this?
Okay, sir.
See this?
Yes, sir. Posterior wall removed.
It is much faster, much easier. Why to use drill unnecessarily?
You can already see the vessel, I think.
Oh, I have not seen. No, that is on the periosteum. That is not IMAX. IMAX is behind the periosteum.
Behind the periosteum.
ठीक है अपना बोन पीस है क्या तो अब later. See what you are saying is a periosteal vessel. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can run my cobblator on such periosteum vessels. See this? Light coblation.
So you're using the coblation
Yes.
or is
Not
coagulation, sir?
coagulation, not cutting.
Okay, and it is not head-on. I mean, it's not end-on application. It's through the.
Pardon?
It is no. You're not applying it end-on onto the periosteum. It's through by the side only. You know.
Yes,
it
through
is-
the on the periosteum only.
Okay, sir. That is very fast bone removal, sir.
Yeah, the bone is was already thinned out. See this? See this bone piece again? See, when you remove this, see what you come across, you know? Branch of greater palatine. See
That's
here.
inside in the channel, in the canal, sir.
See the medial removal of the bone. See the medial bone removal.
Yes, sir.
I'll leave a small piece of fudgy cell on the raw surface because it keeps on oozing otherwise. Hmm. This is very, very important. On the tumor surface, if slightest the oozing, better to keep the surgicel and then keep it pressed with the gauze. See like this?
Yes, sir.
This will keep your tumor away as well. Harrison. Some more bone will remove. हल्का हल्का डाला गया. See the periosteum torn. Can you see the fat?
Yes, sir. Fat, fat.
That means you are lateral to the tumor now. See the infratemporal fossa fat?
Yes, sir.
I'm exposing more and more. That's the infratemporal fossa fat.
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
I can tease out a little bit of it. ₹5,000 करेगा. Hmm. Now, see, this is your periosteum. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the vessel behind?
Yes, sir. Clearly seen.
Can you see very clear, everybody? Hello.
Yes, sir. The loop of the IMAX.
Yeah. Give me the cobbletter. तो करना. ठीक है. हाँ, ये भी ना. तो ये भी. Cobbletter. See the vessel?
Yes, sir. So you'll be using clips after delineating.
100%. Clip is the safest way. तो कर दिया.
So you are doing forehand technique now?
Not really. My assistant is using one hand to either irrigate or suction in between.
Okay, okay, sir.
हटा हटा इसको बोन है हटा बोन क्या मत करे आप
This is excellent teamwork. Your suction is being applied. It feels as if you yourself is doing the suction. Excellent teamwork, sir.
See, this is the tumor surface. What I have exposed is the tumor surface. Could you see?
Yes, sir.
This is all tumor surface I am exposing.
Yes, sir. We can see. Yes, sir.
Mhm. Mhm. I am more and more staying on the tumor. Cobbletter. Will show you acquiring more and more space.
Yes.
The surface is best visualized with the cobbletter.
Yes, sir.
Some more periosteum. I will cut this. Cobbletter. Periosteum, cutting this. In between, I use the cutting mode to cut anything.